It's really useful to have one of these as you start your path into digital transformation or becoming a data-driven organisation. So we're just going to highlight the key areas that you need to be thinking about. So firstly, we need to ask ourselves, what data do we need? In your data management strategy, let's be clear about what data is important to you. What are the key data points that you need to be concerned with? Leading on from that, we actually advocate the use of a data dictionary. A data dictionary is a document you produce, it can be done in Excel, which lists all the different data fields you have in your individual source databases. And along with what fields you have, put a little explanation. What do they look like? How are they formatted? What are they actually used for? And if you're date stamping it, you can also comment on how many data fields you have at that particular point. It's a really useful document to have, particularly as people come into your organisation, pick up on some work you might have done. Having a data dictionary available enables them to quickly get up to speed with what you're doing. So what data is one of the first things we think about in a data management strategy. The next thing is, where's that data coming from? You heard us again talk about data sources, both in your single customer view and the demonstration we showed you of a CRM ecosystem. So we have to think about, where are we actually getting those sets of data from, which different source systems. Now these can be digital systems such as your online store, your online ticketing system. It could be the booking process for stadium tours, but it could also be a collection of forms that you've collected, paper forms at a summer soccer school, for example. It could be the incoming data from your mobile app. It could even be business cards that are dropped into a bowl at a corporate hospitality event where you've been given permission to communicate with these folks. So think about where that data is actually coming from. Digital systems, online, offline, paper forms, business cards, all the data that you need to pull together into the single customer view that we talked about. Where is that data coming from? A third point within your data management strategy is data accuracy. The accuracy of your data is really important. If the data isn't accurate, you can't really use it. We talk about things like data standards. What standards do we use for formatting? Very important when it comes to the accuracy of your data. So that's the third area. The fourth area we need to think about is usage and access. How are we actually using that data? And who or what needs to access it. So for example, if we're using that data to send an email campaign, then either the person who's building and sending you emails or the automated process you've set up to get the data into your campaign platform has to be considered. If you're accessing the data to build a dashboard or just to provide a report, again, how are you accessing that data? How are you using it? What processes need to be in place to support that? And then, of course, we need KPIs and metrics. We need to know, are we succeeding? What's important to you? What do you need to achieve to be a success, to support your business objectives? So KPIs and metrics are usually incorporated within your data management strategy. And then one final point. Some of you may choose to do this, some of you won't, but we believe it's quite important, and that's setting up some data governance, the rules and the processes that actually make up the way you as a business, you as an individual, all your colleagues within the organisation, the way you are going to handle this data, the way you're actually going to use it, store it and maintain it. We need some governance around that. It's actually quite common in organisations for a data governance committee to be established. Usually you have a head of it, a chair of it, but then you have people representing different departments within a business. So for example, within a sports club, you might have the chair, but then there'll be someone from the sponsorship department, the media department, ticketing, merchandise, maybe even the event or the venue team, all part of this data governance committee, and probably meeting once a month to check through processes, understand what happened the month before, talk about what's happened in the month after. That's the sort of activity that we implement to ensure that our governance is always being maintained. And most importantly, the actions that are being implemented by people around the team are following the rules and processes that we've created.